Welcome to Friday's podcast on the book of 1 Corinthians. Today we're in 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter. We're going to go back and we're going to pick up with verse number 3. 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, verse number 3. Now, go back and listen to the prior podcast this week because we are laying a tremendous foundation to help you to understand the way that churches are supposed to function. And you need to understand, if you're not part of a local body, you need to be in a local body. You need to be part of a church. Number one, because they need you. Number two, because you need them. But you need them in a surrounding of love. If you go to a church and people aren't loving each other, find another church. You understand? Love is the central core of all that we do as a church. That's why I believe chapter 13 of 1 Corinthians, even though it's probably the shortest chapter in the book of 1 Corinthians, I don't know that for sure, but it's not as long as most. But it is so essential to the operation of the church. Now today we're in verse number 3. And this is what the Apostle Paul writes, "And if I give all my possessions to feed the poor, if I surrender my body to be burned, and do not have love, it profits me nothing." Now, yesterday we talked about all the gifts and the faith and all wisdom and all knowledge and all those things, and we ended up by saying, you know what, if I don't have love, I am nothing. Verse number 1 says, if I speak in tongues, but if I don't have love, all I'm doing is making a bunch of noise. So we pick up and we understand that the Apostle Paul is taking us through this process. But the whole central core is that we do, and whatever we do in the church, that we do it in love. How many of you know that giving is a good thing? I believe in giving. I believe that one of the reasons why God prospers me is because I give. One of the reasons why He prospers my family and my wife and myself is because we've learned to give. The camera that I'm looking into is a product of giving. God laid it on my heart to give $1,000 to a ministry. I said, God, I don't have $1,000. He said, you do. Go home and get the mail. And you know what? There was a check for $1,000 in the mail. I gave it to that ministry. Within 2 weeks, the money was there for our very first camera. You see, I believe in giving. But if I give and I don't have love, you know what? I'm not going to receive anything. Let me say this. I really, really don't like these people that are constantly playing on your emotions to try to get you to give. The reason why I don't like it is because I think they're motivated by something other than love. They're motivated by need or by greed. You see, if you give and you don't give out of a heart of love for someone, you know what? You will profit nothing. You will not receive anything to benefit you in return. Do you understand? We have people that give to this ministry. Hopefully they give to this ministry because they love us. I know that many of them do because they tell us they love us, and they show it in their love for us. But we need to understand that if you give everything to feed the poor, it says here, in other words, to feed those who can't give something back to you. It's something that you completely turn loose of. You can do that and still not do it out of love. I believe that when you give, you get. But that is not the reason to give. The reason to give is that you love someone. First of all, you love God, and because you love God, you love others. Because you love God, you understand God's love for you, and you love others, and then you just want to give to other people to help them. Many times we've given to people, and I would say to them, you know what, I just want to help you on your way. Love. If you give of all your possessions, everything that you have, notice the extreme that the Apostle Paul goes through. You give everything you have to feed the poor. You can do it and not do it in love. But if you do it in love, you know what happens? You profit. Notice the next extreme that the Apostle Paul says, if I surrender my body to be burned. I believe that the Apostle Paul here is talking about martyrdom. I think he's talking about people that would surrender to the authorities and say, yes, I am a believer. If you surrender your body to be burned, how many of you know that's an extreme? That you're surrendering yourself over to death. You surrender your body over to be burned. You can do that and not have love. Wow. But if you do it out of love, notice what the Apostle Paul says. If you don't do it in love, it profits you nothing. In other words, you will receive nothing back in return. Without love, there is no profit in giving. Do you understand the importance that this self-sacrificing type of love brings to our giving? That it brings to our surrender, even to the point of we would surrender ourselves to death, that we need to do it in love. Now this word, when it says it profits me nothing, the Greek word for profit actually means to bring increase. How many of you know that I think every human being is looking for increase? Increase in sacrifice. Increase in receiving financial need, increase in doing things, increase in helping. They're looking for increase. But the key of increase, listen to me, the key of increase is that whatever you do it in love. The reason why you do things is love. Love for other people. Love for God. I hope that you understand this. I hope that you take this to heart and you say, God, please look at my life and show me any area where I'm not doing things in love. And then saying, God, you shed abroad your love in my heart so that I can love others. Thank you for watching. Join us again next week as we continue this study on the subject of love.